Hello, I am Narayan Singh and welcome to Sports 360, your one-stop destination for all big sporting events of the week. The knock-on effect of sports COVID-enforced hibernation has been seismic. Athletes starve of the income they need from competition, and clubs funded largely by the incomes generated by ticket sales, merchandise are now battling to make ends meet and trying to adapt to a new normal may last for years to come. To understand more about this new sporting world, in this edition of the Sports 360, we will analyze the impact of biobubble on mental health of athletes. Sporting world is embracing the new normal. How Khelo India Center of Excellence are helping athletes, and a complete round of Champions League match day 1 and the schedule of the Champions League fixtures coming up. Besides, we have our regular segments, Goal of the Week, Player of the Week and Sporting Moments of the Week. But first off, the cover story of the week. The coronavirus pandemic has wreaked havoc all around the world, has also massively affected the sporting scenarios across the globe. Players are now supposed to stay inside in a biosecure bubble with several restrictions in place. Recently, England cricketer Ian Morgan has opened up on the strain of living in a biosecure bubble. No fans are at the grounds and players have to stay inside the bubble. But this gives rise to another question. Can being confined too long can affect a player's mental health? More in this report.
Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic altered the way we live, everything has changed. This is the new normal now. Restrictions and also certain guidelines which define our very existence. Sports has been one of the casualties. While games have resumed, they are being played in a bio bubble in order to prevent anyone from being infected or spreading the infection. This means that players are confined to a routine and have to follow a number of restrictions. But these are special circumstances. No fans are at the grounds, and players have to stay inside the bubble. But this gives rise to another question. Can being confined too long affect a player's mental health? England skipper Ian Morgan is of the opinion that players should be allowed to pull out to take care of themselves. England have been playing a lot of cricket and there is more to come. 2 bio-bubbles, one in Southampton and the other in Manchester, allowed the resumption of international cricket after a break of 116 days. An isolation zone at Walt Disney World in Florida helped the US National Basketball Association to wrap up the season. Grand Slam returned to tennis in the New York bubble, where the US Open action took place, when much of America is grappling with the virus. So long as the coronavirus spreads fear and infections around the world, international sport can exist only in a bio-bubble. What's a bio-bubble? It's a tightly controlled environment, sealed off from the outside world, and can only be accessed by a limited number of people, mostly used for sporting events. Players, support staff, and match officials will be confined to this specific space and will have limited physical interaction with people outside. How does the bio-bubble work? Players, officials, and support staff are tested for the coronavirus before entering the biosecure environment. After a quarantine period, they will be allowed to access the grounds and their hotels. They will be barred from interacting with anyone outside the bio-bubble. Each person's movement is monitored with electronic devices. What happens when a bio-bubble is breached? When a player fails to follow the safety protocols, they are isolated and have to undergo a quarantine period. Some countries slap fines too. Bio-bubbles worked flawlessly in the West Indies series in England. English fast bowler Jofra Archer was penalised for breaching the bubble. ECB came down severely on him. Archer was dropped from the second test and quarantined. In other sports, the US Open tennis suffered a setback when French player Benoit Paire tested positive in the bio-bubble. He was withdrawn from the tournament. Bio-bubbles can be a lonely place. Biosecure environments keep individuals safe from the virus, but it can grate the nerves. Even the most composed of people, especially the quarantine spell. Off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin called the quarantine one of the worst times of his life. Suresh Raina flew out of Dubai even before the 6-day quarantine ended. They are not alone. Rafael Nadal didn't travel to the New York bubble to defend his US Open title. Simona Halep and Ashley Bartley too refused to travel, citing safety issues. While one can accept that for some time, this will be how matches shall be played and tours conducted, as safety comes first, one does understand the players' apprehensions. After all, cricketers are humans too, and mental health is just as important as physical fitness. So is the biobubble a hindrance to mental health? It varies from individual to individual. Sports Desk, DD India.
Really living in a biobubble for a long period is a tough job for players, but it's a new normal in sports. Moving to the next story, the Indian Sports Ministry has approved the upgradation of sports centers in 7 states and 2 union territories to Khelo India State Center of Excellence. Under the Khelo India scheme, the centers have been chosen will be provided assistance in the form of better sporting equipments, coaches, sports scientists, high performance manager, technical support. 14 centers were earlier identified for upgradation to Khelo India Centers of Excellence, taking the overall tally to 24 for 23 states and union territories.
In its bid to develop infrastructure at the grassroots level, the Sports Ministry has upgraded 9 more facilities to Khelo India State Centre of Excellence under Khelo India scheme. The latest centres have been identified in Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Chandigarh, Goa, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Puducherry, Tripura and Jammu and Kashmir. The centres have been chosen will be provided with assistance in the form of better sporting equipment, coaches, sports scientists, high performance managers and technical support. Union Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju said the KISCEs will be world-class facilities where the best sporting talent from all over the country will be trained to further India's Olympic dreams.
Our government is taking great initiative for sports. Recently, to develop infrastructure at grassroots level for athletes, the Sports Ministry has upgraded 9 more facilities to Khelo India State Centre of Excellence under the Khelo India scheme for athletes. In that, athletes will get better facilities and they will get motivated to do well. These centers will provide us better sporting equipment, coaches, managers, physiotherapists and technical support.
I am supported by Khelo India since 2 years, and I am very lucky to say that I'm very proud to say that due to Khelo India scheme I have uplifted my performances in these 2 years. Like they have introduced the plan for excellence centers. Those have really benefited me because through that I am accredited to Gun for Glory Shooting Academy, and through that academy Khelo India is supporting me with ammunition and everything which is needed for my shooting. And earlier I didn't have so much facilities, due to which I couldn't show my capability. But after I started getting the support from Khelo India through this coaching excellence centers, it's really, I would say that it has benefited me a lot, and today what I am, it's because of that.
The 9 centres that were finalised for upgradation were selected on the basis of a criteria based on quality of present infrastructure, past performances of the state on the national stage, culture of sports and management in the state. The latest Khelo India State Centre of Excellence include Andhra Pradesh, Kadapa, Chandigarh, Sector 42, Chhattisgarh, Bilaspur, Goa, Panjim, Haryana, Sonipat, Himachal Pradesh, Bilaspur, Puducherry, Uppalam, Tripura, Agartala, Jammu and Kashmir, MA Stadium, Fencing Academy, Jammu and J&K Sports Council Water Sports Academy, Srinagar. A total of 14 centres were earlier identified by the Sports Ministry for upgradation to Khelo India State Centres of Excellence, taking the overall tally to 24 from 23 states and union territories. Each state and union territory was asked to identify the sports infrastructure available with them or any other alternative agencies that could be improvised to world-class standards. Narayan Singh's report, DD India.
Athletes are saying these institutes, these centers are helping them, and definitely these centers will help India to be on the world sporting map. Now, shifting focus to football, there were shock results, resounding wins and late goals on a dramatic UEFA Champions League match day 1. Real Madrid couldn't halt its losing streak in the Champions League, and no one seems to able to stop Bayern Munich's winning run. Wins for Liverpool and Man City capped the good rounds for English clubs.
Bayern 4-0 Atletico Madrid. Bayern began the Champions League campaign with an emphatic victory against Atletico Madrid. The defending champions clinched a 4-0 win at the Allianz Arena on Wednesday night, courtesy of wonder goals from Kingsley Coman, Leon Goretzka and Corentin Tolisso. Real Madrid 2, Shakhtar 3. A Shakhtar team including 7 starters aged 21 or under pulled off a stunning upset against Real Madrid. The visitors raced into a 3-0 lead thanks to Tete's composed opener, Rafael Varane's own goal and Manor Salomon's fine finish of a good team move. Madrid threatened a comeback, but Luka Modric and Vinicius Junior's goals were all they could muster. Ajax 0, Liverpool 1. Premier League champions Liverpool were held by an own goal to get off to a winning start in the Champions League outing against Dutch club Ajax. Jurgen Klopp's injury-hit side were tested by Ajax but did enough to leave Amsterdam with a clean sheet. Nicolas sliced Sadio Mane's cross into his own net with 10 minutes in the first half remaining, and that was the only goal of the match. Barcelona 5-1 Ferencváros. Lionel Messi became the first player to score in 16 consecutive Champions League seasons as he guided a 10-man Barcelona to a 5-1 victory over Hungarian side Ferencváros in the Group G opener at Camp Nou. Messi netted from the penalty spot in the first half for his 116th career goal in the competition before a lively Ansu Fati added a second. 17-year-old Pedri netted his first Barca goal after arriving from second-tier team La Palma at the start of the season, and Dembele added a fifth late on. PSG 1-2 Manchester United. Marcus Rashford fired Manchester United to another memorable victory at Paris Saint-Germain as they started their Champions League campaign with a bang. After a season away from European football's top table, the Red Devils returned to action at the Parc des Princes, where just 19 months ago they secured one of their greatest ever comebacks in this competition. Dynamo Kyiv 0, Juventus 2. Alvaro Morata scored twice as Andre Pirlo's Juventus opened their Champions League campaign with victory at Dynamo Kyiv. Juventus were without Cristiano Ronaldo following his positive coronavirus test and initially struggled in his absence to hold it together. Lazio 3-1 Borussia Dortmund. Lazio marked their return to the Champions League group stage with a win. The Italians saw off Borussia Dortmund 3-1 at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Lazio's Ciro Immobile scored against his former club Borussia Dortmund in the 3-1 home victory, marking their return to the Champions League group phase after a 13-year absence. Jude Bellingham became the youngest English player to play in the competition.
Let's take a look at the Champions League matches lined up for the next week. We can see that in the first match, Lokomotiv Moscow will face German club Bayern Munich on 27th October on Moscow. Bayern in their opening match defeated Atletico Madrid 4-0, so a great opening for them, and they will try to continue that trend. In another match, Atletico Madrid will face Salzburg on 28th October in Madrid, and in another match, a German club Mönchengladbach will face Spanish giant Real Madrid in Russia Park on 28th October. Real Madrid already lost their opening match against the Shakhtar Donetsk, while Liverpool will face Danish club Midtjylland. Liverpool already won their opening match, so it remains to be seen how they perform in their second match. Already they are in a tricky group which have teams like Atlanta, and in another match, German club Borussia Dortmund will face Zenit, and Borussia Dortmund already lost their opening match, so they also need to be on track in the second match, while Juventus will face Barcelona, the marquee clash. But it's the Barcelona fans were waiting for the clash of Ronaldo and Messi in this match, but it's not possible as Ronaldo is COVID positive, and Manchester United will face Leipzig on 29th October. And Manchester United won their opening match, and that was a great match. Rashford was the star of the match and helped the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to win that match. So we can say that the great matches are lined up for the next week in the UEFA Champions League, and fans will definitely enjoy the upcoming matches in the Champions League, but the Ronaldo and Messi clash, there will be no Ronaldo and Messi clash, as Ronaldo is positive of COVID second time, and so we can see that the Ronaldo will be not there in the Juventus versus Barcelona clash. Now, moving to another story, Virgil van Dijk is set for an extended period on the sidelines and will be a huge miss for Liverpool. The Netherlands centre-back damaged his cruciate ligament in the Merseyside derby as a result of Jordan Pickford's reckless challenge. The 29-year-old is one of the best defenders in the football and finished runner-ups behind Lionel Messi in the last year's Ballon d'Or. And all the statistics show Liverpool are worse off without him, which is a huge worry for the Reds moving forward. More in this report.
Virgil van Dijk has transformed Liverpool's defensive record in almost 3 years since his arrival. So how much will his absence hurt them? The Netherlands international, 29, faces surgery and a lengthy layoff after suffering anterior cruciate knee ligament damage during Saturday's 2-2 draw at Everton. Liverpool paid £75 million, then a world record for a defender, to sign Van Dijk from Southampton in January of 2018. Since then, they have won both the Champions League and the Premier League. And a look at the stats show just what an impact he has made. Liverpool's ever-present rock, Van Dijk has missed just one Premier League game since joining Liverpool. His 2 full seasons brought a total of 196 points. They racked up 97 as they finished runners-up to Manchester City in 2018-19, then finished on 99 last season as they won the title by 18 points. The 2018-19 season ended with 2 personal awards for Van Dijk. He was the PFA Player of the Year in England, as well as the first defender to pick up UEFA's Player of the Year award. He played all 38 Premier League games that season as Liverpool conceded just 22 goals, the lowest number in any of Europe's top 6 leagues that season. Last season they conceded 33, again the lowest in the English top flight. How much Liverpool could miss Van Dijk? Liverpool with Van Dijk. In Van Dijk's 95 Premier League starts for Liverpool, they have conceded just 78 goals and kept 44 clean sheets. Liverpool without Van Dijk. By comparison, in the 95 league games before his debut, they let in 117 goals and shut out the opposition 29 times. Who can step up? Cameroon international Matip and England's Joe Gomez have shared partnership duties alongside Van Dijk in recent times, but may now be called upon to operate side by side. Matip made 22 Premier League appearances in 2018-19, but just 9 last term, while Gomez played 28 times last season, following his 16 games the season before. Van Dijk's aerial presence will be missed at both ends of the pitch. The Dutchman has scored 10 Premier League goals since January 2018. Crystal Palace's Patrick van Aanholt, with 11, is the only defender who can beat that total over the same period. Matip has 4 league goals in 4 years at Liverpool. Gomez has none in 5. Sports Desk, DD India.
So Liverpool will definitely miss Virgil van Dijk. Brazilian soccer great Pelé turns 80 on Friday. He was declared Athlete of the Century by the International Olympic Committee and was also named the joint winner of the FIFA Player of the Century award, which he shared with Argentine great Diego Maradona. Picking our top 10 list of the best footballers over the age of 30 isn't an easy process for anyone. We have seen several big names defy the laws of nature to continue performing at the highest level. Players used to fade away rather drastically in their 30s, with injuries occurring more frequently. Recovery time also took even longer than usual. So, this in mind, we give you top 10 players who continue to excel in 30s.
No matter how great a sports person is, time eventually catches up with them, and the age of 30 is often considered to be the start of this decline. The concept is prevalent in football too, but there are several players who have defied logic and continue to be at the very top of their game. These 10 players are doing exactly that with their respective teams. Toni Kroos for Real Madrid. Since he arrived from Bayern in 2014, Toni Kroos has had an integral role to play in all of Madrid's success, including the Champions League three-peat. A top-class midfielder with an enviable skill set, he also is a vital cog in Germany's setup too, and won the World Cup in 2014. At the age of 30, he has many more years at the top for club and for the country. Sergio Ramos for Real Madrid. The Real Madrid captain has enjoyed a stellar career over the last 15 years in football. The 34-year-old also has an uncanny knack of scoring goals. He has netted 98 times for Madrid, most of which have come from set pieces, and is also Spain's 8th all-time goal scorer. Ciro Immobile for Lazio. Immobile deserves every ounce of recognition and plaudits for his heroics with Lazio in the last couple of years. Immobile, after several failed loan stints, has finally found his calling, and now there is no stopping him. He was a Serie A top scorer with 27 goals last season. The Italian is the catalyst to Lazio's improbable title charge. He has also firmly stated himself as the first choice striker for the Azzurri too. Luis Suarez for Atletico Madrid. Barcelona have sold striker Luis Suarez to La Liga rivals Atletico Madrid, as Suarez' form dwindled since the last season. But he remains a top quality striker regardless. His role in Barcelona's success in the last 5 years cannot be overstated. In 283 appearances for Barcelona, he has scored 198 goals and 109 assists. Thomas Müller for Bayern Munich. Now in his 12th year in the German top flight, his tally of 527 appearances and a contribution of 387 goals and assists combined is nothing to sneeze at. He has been an integral to Bayern's glorious run in the last decade, and in this form will surely guide them to many more trophies in this season and beyond. Luka Modric for Real Madrid. Spending €35 million to sign the Croatian from Tottenham has to be one of the bargains of the century. Modric has since developed into one of the best footballers and regularly features in both FIFA and UEFA Team of the Years. The 34-year-old still possesses a killer first touch on the ball. Undoubtedly, Modric's biggest moment was ending Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi's duopoly of the Ballon d'Or award in 2018. Zlatan Ibrahimovic for AC Milan. While he was approaching his 40s now, Ibrahimovic has scored an impressive 53 goals in 58 games for LA Galaxy. It made him the most in-demand free agent in January transfer window, with AC Milan winning the race. Now all that remains to be seen is how Zlatan performs in Serie A over the upcoming months as he attempts to restore Milan's glory days. Robert Lewandowski for Bayern Munich. The Polish striker has been unstoppable for Bayern last season in both the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. There is no stopping him, with defenses across Europe all crumbling when facing Lewandowski. He has 45 goals last season for Bayern, his best ever tally, and also the most in Europe's top 5 leagues. He should have earned his first Ballon d'Or title in December had the award ceremony not been scrapped. Cristiano Ronaldo for Juventus. At an age when players either wane or even retire, Ronaldo is busy scripting another legendary tale with Juventus. The Portuguese wonder also continues to be Juventus' main man. Messi for Barcelona. He's 34-year-old but isn't showing any signs of slowing down. The best player La Masia has ever produced, Lionel Messi, is just exceptional. A gift to football, he has been the main man for his team for the past decade. He is a pure football talent, blessed with absolute sensational dribbling skills and a magnificent first touch. Scoring a goal or assisting a teammate has never been difficult for the Argentine. Sports Desk, TD India.
So these were the players over 30 who are dominating the football world. Now it's time for the weekly top 20 from the world of sports. The national camp for the Olympico group shooters started at the Dr. Karni Singh shooting range. The shooter coaches and other support staff had been tested COVID-19 when they reported for the camp. World champion PV Sindhu is in the United Kingdom to work on her recovery and nutrition during the coronavirus-induced break that has seen a majority of BW major events being cancelled this year. Legendary Indian cricketer Kapil Dev has undergone a heart surgery at a hospital in Delhi after he complained of the chest pain. A statement from the hospital said Dev was admitted on Friday and was in a stable condition now. England's centrally contracted men's player have agreed to a 15% pay cut for the next 12 months. The England and Wales Cricket Board reached an agreement with the Team England Players Partnership after the financial implication of the COVID-19. BCCI President Saurav Ganguly has confirmed that the Ahmedabad will host the day-night ping ball test during the England tour of India early next year. England are slated to visit India from January to March 5 for 5 tests and a limited over series. England will travel to South Africa for a 4-match limited over tour starting late November, all matches to be played without spectators. In a first, teams will be allowed to feature as many as 3 overseas players in their playing 11s in the upcoming edition of the Big Bash League. The 10th edition of the 2020 tournament begins in December 3rd. Andy Murray suffers injury setback as pelvic forces withdrawal from the Colo ATP event. The former world number 1 said, raising doubts over his participation for the remainder of the year. Former Masters champion Adam Scott has tested positive for COVID-19 and withdrawn from the JoJo Championship. He will self-isolate in accordance with the CDC guidelines. Jason Kokrak wins CJ Cup to get PGA Tour title in the 233rd try. Kokrak hit 8 birdies in the bogey-free final round of 64 to finish 2 shots clear of fellow American Shuffle at the Shadow Creek. World 400-meter champion Salwa Adnasser has been cleared of committing an anti-doping rule violation after a World Athletic Disciplinary Tribunal dismissed charges brought against her for registering 4 whereabouts failures. Aston Villa's perfect start to the English Premier League was ended by Leeds 3-0 on Friday. Villa had never won their opening 5 league games and they still haven't after their defeat missed the chance to top the Premier League for the first time since October 2001. AC Milan's red form continues as they equal 56-year-old club record by beating Celtic in their Europa League group stage opener. Celtic suffered a 3-1 defeat at home to Milan after a pulsating 90 minutes end-to-end action. Arsenal fought back to win their opening game of the Europa League campaign 2-1 against Rapid Vienna. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and David Luiz scored Arsenal goals in what was a quick-fire double. Gareth Bale had a quiet first start for the Tottenham since returning to the London club, while Carlos Vinicius made a more impressive debut by setting up 2 goals in a 3-0 win over LASK in the Europa League. Leicester made a perfect start in the Group G with a comfortable 3-0 win over Zora Luhansk of Ukraine. James Maddison, Harvey Barnes and Kelechi Iheanacho were on the score sheet. Cristiano Ronaldo has tested positive for the novel coronavirus once again and is likely to miss Juventus' Champions League clash against Barcelona. Ronaldo had tested positive for the virus for the first time on 13th October while on international duty with national team Portugal. Spanish newspaper ABC has issued an apology to Barcelona star Ansu Fati after their match report compared his pace to that of a Black Street vendor fleeing the police. The 17-year-old put in an impressive display in Barcelona's 5-1 victory over Ferencváros, scoring their second. Badminton World Federation announced that World Junior Badminton Championships 2020 is slated to be in New Zealand has been cancelled due to COVID-19 pandemic. The competition was originally planned for September-October but was pushed to January amid the raging pandemic. Former Australia flanker and captain David Pocock announced his retirement from the All Rugby on Friday. Plans to concentrate on the campaigning for conservation causes and work on rugby development programs. That's all in this edition of Sports 360. Before we conclude, we leave you with the sporting moments of this week. Namaskar.